Gentlemen, good afternoon. We are so excited to have you here on the Real Estate VUE. I am Miki, joined by my super co-host ladies.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lorraine.
And I am Kim. Nice to see you all again.
Yes. Thanks for
Yes.
joining us for another episode of the Real Estate View. We're super excited to talk about our topic, as we always are. But what are we discussing with the people today, ladies?
Well, I think this is something that everybody likes. It's a hot topic because everybody likes to just get mailbox money. Who doesn't like to go to their mailbox and see that there's a check in the mail?
Yes.
So with the different types of things we're going to be discussing today, those are the type. That's what will actually be happening. You'll be able to go to your mailbox and you'll see a check, or check your bank account and you'll see
Direct deposit.
a
Direct.
direct deposit, some
Yeah.
money in there.
It's like that feeling when it's like the smile for the Amazon Prime. It's like, when you get your Amazon package, that 2-day delivery, that's exciting. But mailbox money is definitely welcome. I like mailbox money.
And,
Yeah.
and it's like, the beginning of each month, you're just like super happy.
Because you know something's coming.
Yes.
Something's coming. Yes.
And that's, I think that's what's so great about passive income is that it's usually pretty predictable, right? Like, it's coming at a certain point every month. And so that's what's so comforting and exciting about it.
Well, it was predictable up until the last 2 years.
Right.
But that's another thing to
episode.
discuss.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
so
And
passive income.
even though the last 2 years, I mean, it's still very attractive,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Like going now through like the regulation being lifted up and all, it's super attractive actually.
Yeah. I mean, passive income is a way for you to make money without getting your hands dirty. And when I say getting your hands dirty, meaning like for myself, I like to do rehab. So I guess you could say that I get my hands dirty because, I'm actually at these projects every single day, dealing with contractors, dealing with the everything that, encompasses, doing a rehab on a project. Whereas for passive income, you put the money up and you're investing it and you just watch it grow. You don't actually have to dabble in it, get your hands dirty, I should say.
So, like the passive income strategies that I participate in are notes, and so when we're dealing with mortgage notes, I often like to term it as like the set it and forget it type of strategy, because yes, you are investing your capital, and when you're buying debt associated with the property instead of the property itself, that's when the predictability for the most part comes in, because if you have a performing note where the borrower continues to make their payments, for the most part that payment is going to be coming every month because this person is paying their bills and making their mortgage payments. The unpredictability comes in that if a performing note can turn non-performing at any point, and then some other strategies have to be going into place. But yeah, passive income, making your money work for you, is really I think what most of us are trying to achieve, to get.
And when you think about the bigger picture of the real estate, it really comes down to that. Whatever you're buying on the longer term, it's really about that. It's about building that legacy, that passive income that's going to be there, and you know, just make that money while you're sleeping, while you're awake. Just having that regular cash flow coming in makes such a difference. And so whether it doesn't really matter what kind of path you take, as long as it produces the results that you want and how you're comfortable with it.
True. Was it Warren Buffett that said, I think, what is the quote? Something about until you can figure out a way to make money in your sleep, you'll always be working. It's something
Yes.
similar to that. I'm parafrasing.
I remember that.
But
It touches soft spot.
yeah.
I was like,
But it's,
that's the way to go. That's really the way to go.
yeah, and when you're thinking about, passive income and making your money work for you, when we're looking at examples like Warren Buffett, who puts his money into the stock market. And basically that's, that's compounding and recycling your money there as well. Those are the things that we have to think about, the multiple streams of income, like all of these things. You're really only being able to achieve multiple streams by them having a passive nature to it. I mean, when you think about it, we can't physically be in all of these different places at once. And so really the one way to achieve those multiple streams is leveraging your time by having things do the work for you.
Right. And you also have to remember that Warren Buffett, he does invest heavily in real estate.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
He's
so
taking them dividends from the stock market and throwing them in real estate. That's really what's going on. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, what are some of your favorite types of passive income?
Well, me, I love rentals. And so I mean, Ackin Developers always pushing for more rentals and just to grow our portfolio. And it's been great to have, like, we were saying earlier, to have that cash flow coming in monthly. It's really great. And also it's just one of those things, like, especially when you have like those small multi-units, they are easy to let go. Like, if you decide to sell them, they're easy to let go. They appreciate over time. So it's not considered like a single family home, right? Single family home is more subject to like the ups and downs of the market. While those multi-units, they're not compared the same way. They appreciate because of the cash flow that's tied to it.
So when you're saying small multi-units, you're talking 1 to 4?
1 to 6.
1 to 6.
That's like where we like to be, 1 to 6. And then above 6, it's just different. And it's also great. Now, what we like about those, so let me rephrase that. We like 2 and more, right? Because the reason why we like to have those duplex, quadruplex, and sixplex and all of that, it's because if you have a vacancy, well, the others are still covering your mortgage, right? Compared to a single family home, that was funny.
So speaking of reality, yes, in New York, when we're talking about multifamily units all over here, yes, this is the joys, the musical soundtrack of New York. So sorry about that, everyone.
that was very funny. So I was saying that if compared to a single family home, you have just one tenant, and so when this tenant goes out, you have to cover for that monthly mortgage. While in those smaller multi-units, if you have one vacancy, that's actually fine. It won't affect your ability to cover the mortgage. And then it gets even better when you have bigger units, because then the cash is just higher and the appreciation is also higher. And yes, so it really depends what people like to do. But a very easy way to start, I think, it's actually those duplex, because you can live, we were talking the other day about house hacking.
Yes.
And that's so affordable for someone who's buying their first property.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of house hacking. That's how Jean and I were able to purchase our first home in New York, because everybody knows that the barrier of entry in New York is pretty high.
Yes,
so usually when you're buying a property in New York and it has more than one unit, the bank you can qualify for a little bit more, when you're making a purchase, because you have that rental income to offset your purchase. So that's how we were able to do house hacking, and we actually liked it. We had really great tenants when we did it in New York, until we moved here to Illinois. We ultimately sold that property, but that's an awesome way to get started.
Yes.
Building passive income, because even if you don't sell the property and you stay in it, you're able to pay off your mortgage, a lot faster.
And for some that might be listening, just to elaborate a little bit on what Kim and Miki are describing. So house hacking, let me see if I can explain this in a way that's digestible. But essentially, let's just take a 2-family property, for example. If you are purchasing this 2-family property, house hacking is you live in one unit, and then you have a tenant who's living in the second unit. And because that tenant is living in the second unit, usually, depending on what you're charging them for rent, that should be enough to cover the full mortgage on the property, and then maybe even potentially provide you with some cash flow as well. So you're house hacking because you're living in the house for free while you have your, well, maybe not for free,
Yeah.
but for less than what you would normally pay, because you have a tenant who's covering most of the house expenses. So I agree completely. It's a great way, especially for maybe first-time home buyers, or if you're in
Absolutely.
an expensive market and it continues to go up, especially with inflation, where it might be challenging to be able to purchase the home outright. But if you have some additional income coming in while still being able to live in the house that you're looking at, then that's a great option.
Yeah. I mean, some of the other types of passive income, you have your long-term rentals. You
Mhm.
have, of course, short-term vacation rentals. You have your Airbnbs, your VRBOs. Am I saying
Correct.
correctly?
Yeah.
VRBOs. Your midterm corporate rentals, where you can rent to traveling nurses, or just corporate rentals, a little bit higher end rental property, where CEOs or executives are looking for a place to stay while they're visiting another state for their companies. We house hacking, like we just talked about. I know in California they have ADUs, where there's like a separate dwelling behind the main house
Yes. Yes.
that you're able to rent. And also here in Chicago, they're doing the same thing as well, because there are lots of carriage houses that's behind, because Chicago's a really old city. So they have a lot of these carriage houses behind these really nice buildings. So they've now put into play that you can convert those to ADUs and make those rentals as well.
Is the ADU similar to like those mother-daughter suites, or how they used to phrase like mother-daughter suites, where you have like, I guess, a big house in the front or on the land, then you have like a smaller house, like maybe in the back,
Mhm.
or something. Is
Yeah,
that a similar concept?
it's yeah, similar concept. Yeah, but all of the utilities are separate. So this
Yes.
way, that person who's living in the separate, dwelling, they pay their own utilities. And
Okay.
I know there's always the famous mobile home parks. Mobile home parks are like the big thing now.
Well, you know what's so crazy about mobile home parks is when I hear, and I mean, I'm in New York, right? Like, so this is the mentality that I have. When I think of mobile home parks, I'm thinking of like literally, like a home, or one of those like RVs that people used to just travel in and be mobile on the street.
Yes.
But it's
Yeah,
developed to be so much more than that now. Like, you literally, I mean, a mobile home or slash manufactured home could just be a home that was picked up from the foundation and put on another foundation. Like, that's considered mobile now. I mean, technically it makes sense, but
And
it's just
and
not something that immediately came to mind for me when I hear mobile home. So it's pretty interesting.
I was going to touch down with that because, like Kim, you were saying that it's very popular now. So this COVID time made it even more popular because people couldn't go far, or we didn't want to stay in hotels anymore, and so those pre-manufactured or mobile park started to be a great way of vacationing into
yeah,
something that is yours. You're like a little bit further, and plus you're outside usually. So it's like their prices have actually increased during
Mm.
COVID time, and some of those parks. I mean, people are now building by hundreds of those parks.
Mhm.
Even when you go to like remote area, I was trying to go at a very remote place, and like the rent for 1 week there was higher than like those Airbnb next to the beach. So it's really, I just thought that it was a great investment.
yeah. I mean, and we have to just differentiate between mobile home parks and RV parks. So I
Yes.
think what Lorraine's referring to with, it being mobile are RV parks. I mean, those are hot as well. Like,
They
Yeah.
are super hot,
yeah,
super, super hot.
Like those RVs now, I mean,
It's a
whoa.
house.
They're like, I don't know if the phrase is like smart RVs, but the technology and all of the
Hmm.
amenities that they have in these RVs. I mean, I want one. I think that they're pretty cool.
they are very cool.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can consider it's a different topic, sorry, but I was just wondering, can you consider RV a real estate? Because I mean, there's some people that actually owns, few RVs and will just rent them.
Right. I was just going to say you can rent them out. If you have the
Yes,
land, you can buy
yes.
multiples
And
and
so this is like another passive income
yeah.
strategy.
Yeah.
Go get those
Airbnb on
RVs.
wheels.
Yes, really.
Well, it doesn't move.
It doesn't.
I don't think so,
I
but
thought
I
I
mean,
saw
it's
ones that
possible.
move.
It's possible that you could, rent out your RV to other people who
Yes,
want to go
yes,
RVing but don't want to purchase their own RV. So it
Mhm,
is
exactly.
possible. Yeah. So I
mhm.
mean, I see that as definitely another avenue into, passive income, being able to rent that out.
And we've seen rehabbers rehabbing
Oh yeah.
RVs in that way as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Rehabbers always got to find something to rehab.
I know.
I mean, when you love that aspect of real estate, rehabbing and designing, you'll find anything you'll find anything to rehab.
Got the itch. But
I know.
yeah, there's so many. And then I mean, did we even touch upon lending as a way to do
No.
passive income? Like, so we've gone through so many
And there's
examples
still so
already.
many more. There's still
Yeah.
so many more.
But I mean, if you're someone who's out there who maybe has, a job or, other time committing responsibilities that maybe you don't want have time to do a rehab or look for a wholesale or do a rental or something like that, you can lend on those types of investments. You can
Oh,
still put
yes.
your money to work for you and not even necessarily have to be fully involved in the day-to-day aspects of the investment. So that's another great option for people out there who just have money sitting in the bank, basically at this point paying the banks to hold your money for you.
And those lenders, I mean, lending opportunities can be very diverse, right? You can
Mhm.
land on bigger projects like those commercials where your return is going to
Syndications,
be
yeah.
higher. Yes, syndications. And you can still land on like, smaller properties, like one project at a time, depending on what you want to do. But it's really a great way of having that passive income without the work and actually with less risk as well.
Right, right. Yep.
Right, because the money is secured by it's by
Money
by the real estate.
Yes. So it's another great way. You're right, Lorraine.
Yeah, and most of the time, depending on how the deal is structured, I mean, you're covered not only by it being backed by real estate, but you're usually going to be like on the insurance paperwork if you're doing a rehab or even doing it as part of a landlord type of transaction where you're getting probably equity as well as interest.
Hmm.
So
And then you also generate a note against it as well.
Yes.
it always comes back to
There
notes.
you
Always comes
go.
back to notes.
But I think we've given the audience or our audience a really good amount of options that are available if you're really looking for passive income. And passive income is a way to dip your feet into the real estate world just to get an idea of what your niche may be. So certainly welcome anyone to reach out to any one of us
Yes,
as we
absolutely.
all participate in passive income
Hmm.
strategies, whether it's through commercial real estate or lending, creative financing, notes. There's passive options available throughout. One size doesn't fit all, so
Exactly.
Absolutely.
you might find one that resonates with you better than something else.
Or you might start off gung ho with wanting one thing and gradually work your way
Yeah,
into something else. I mean,
yeah.
real estate is ever changing.
Exactly.
Investments are ever changing.
Like you mentioned, I mean, the quote unquote certainty that maybe was instilled in a lot of the passive income strategies even just a couple of years ago have changed now. I mean, rentals look different. I mean, who would think that we would go through like a foreclosure and eviction moratorium preventing, people from being able to be kicked out of their homes? But like you said, things change and you have to adapt. So because of all of the passive income options that are available, just because one change doesn't mean you can't necessarily, pick up or migrate into another option that might work for you as well. I'm sure we've all what is it? Shifted and pivoted, or
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
bobbed and weaved.
Pivot was the name of the game for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yes, we've all adapted. And I think it's just how real estate is
Mhm.
because it's ever changing. And so you go with the flow, you follow where the money goes, and then
Follow the money.
you
Yeah.
Exactly.
follow the money, you follow the trail.
You just have to
And
be able to
yes,
adapt. Yeah. It's all
yeah,
about adapting.
it's all about that. And really, passive income is wonderful. We all love it. And even when you do, like, we do rehabs, but we always make sure that we will do a couple of rehabs and then we do rentals and we acquire those ones. So
Yeah.
there's like a cycle into it so that even though you're rehabbing, you're also at the same time growing um, your net
Your
worth,
yeah, your portfolio.
your
Yeah.
portfolio.
And the other, like, really the other benefit of doing that and having the diversification between what your strategies are is really, my mind always takes it back to taxes, because when you're combining active income, which is really what rehabs are, like, you actively have to do that strategy, and then you're comparing it, or you're contrasting it with passive income, then you help to offset, some of the income that you're making, from the passive with the, excuse me, with the from the active
From
with
the
the
active, yeah. Yeah.
so this is all a strategy, folks. I mean, there are
Yes,
definitely
yes.
ways to structure these things, so that you can benefit from it. But yeah, I really like how you brought that up about diversification. Doesn't have to be all passive.
Yes,
And definitely doesn't have to be all active. So
yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
and maybe on a future episode, I mean, a lot of people don't like, to hear that some people don't pay taxes, but they're not, it's nothing illegal. It's
right,
perfect. It's all legal. It's just, it's a strategy
It is a
that,
struggle.
some people know about and others don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
We can help you with these strategies, because we having people who are within the industry and active, when we talk about active and passive, like actively doing these things within their business and for their lifestyle, or livelihood. That's the word I'm looking for. um then we're the ones that you should be speaking with. We're not just kind of throwing these terms out there, to share. We're actually doing these things within our businesses. So I think that makes more of an impact,
Yeah.
if it's something that you're looking to do as well.
We speak from experience.
That's right. That's right. Long-winded way. Yes, that was the perfect way to sum it up.
Yes, we speak from experience. And so, we've had good deals, bad deals, all the in-betweens, and that's how it is. And if you can learn really from people that have experience, it's way better than just following YouTube University and throwing
Yes,
yourself
that's right.
into that.
Remember when your parents always used to tell you, I've already been there. I've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been there. We've done that.
Yep. 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 And
And
continue to
Oh
do
continue.
yeah.
it.
Yes,
Yes.
Mhm.
absolutely.
Well, ladies, this has been awesome.
Yes.
Great
Yeah.
topic. I mean, there's still so many different things to touch on as far as passive income goes, but I hope we were able to, just I guess whet your appetite on some of the things that you can do to get into the passive income side. And of course, if you want to discuss any further, you can either Google it or reach out to any one of us, because there's, like I said, a plethora of other ways to invest passively.
Absolutely. And just as a preview, I'm sure we'll take a deeper dive into some of, the topics that we touched upon today. I mean, as we all know, short-term rentals are huge, and that's more along the lines of like the Airbnbs and that type of stuff in the world.
Yes.
So we'll certainly, for those who are looking for more information or a little bit more detail on some of these things, I'm sure we'll touch upon it in a future episode.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So be sure to check out some of our previous episodes on YouTube. And we are here every Thursday. And until next week, know your why.
Know your heart.
And know your purpose. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.